Alright, and welcome back. This is Vaipo. I'm back with another game of League of Legends. Now this is, I believe, cast number 21. This is also going to be my second attempt at making face cam for my videos, and of course the first video unfortunately hasn't been released yet because I am running on a roughly 5 to 6 day upload schedule thing. I don't know how exactly to call it, but we're going to jump straight into this game right now, so let's do that. Now this is going to be a very typical 5 versus 5 in the middle. We have very popular champions being played actually, and the only one I would say is not entirely popular is Kog'Maw at the bottom. But let's start with the middle, since this is probably going to be where most of the action is going to be happening, or rather at least most of the first pushing at least. So we have Orianna versus Morgana in the middle. Now Morgana of course has the black shield to prevent a lot of Orianna's damage. Now we do have Mundo coming in here, but he does miss the cleaver, so Morgana does flash in. Actually a bit of a waste there actually, because if Mundo hasn't gotten Orianna in the first cleaver, then of course there wasn't going to be enough damage to get her down either ways. Now we do have Vladimir. Actually he did get ganked by Shaco a minute ago, but he did get away. I believe he probably pulled. There it is, the cooldown is going down right now. At the bottom we have Kog'Maw and Blitzcrank versus Ezreal and Sona. Now this is going to be a bit of an interesting lineup because Blitzcrank can of course pull enemies towards himself, and Ezreal can use his E, I believe, to jump away. So there's going to be a bit of an interesting engagement. I'm actually going to go back to see exactly how this happened. Now we do have actually a gank come in here from Mundo onto Malphite. Malphite is about half health when they engage here. Does do a few good dodges from Mundo, but of course a bit of an inevitable defeat there. Now Mundo did jump into the turret a bit unnecessarily. I suppose he didn't really need to do that. We did also have a kill. We have a lot of kills going off everywhere here. But he didn't need to dive into the turret. I believe he probably wanted to try to secure it with an auto hit, but of course the turret finished him off. Now we do have Shaco actually coming in here. He might actually get this Morgana. He does get the kill. Shaco, a very good ganker with that stealth. Of course nobody gets an Oracle or a Pink Ward this early in the game, so it's very effective to have Shaco in a jungle. Now he does fall off a little bit towards the end unless he gets very fed, but towards the start he is probably one of the best gankers in the game. Now we have a bit of a quick pace starting here at 3-2 after of course a few minutes of no first blood. This is usually the case. For some reason I've noticed this quite a lot actually. After first blood is called, there's always many more kills very shortly after. Now we do have Vladimir probably going to go off here. Don't think he's going to be able to get away from both Shaco and Malphite. So there we go, Shaco picking up another kill. Actually I don't have this menu up, I better bring it up. Shaco on 2-0 and Malphite is on 1-1-1. So of course he did get ganked earlier by Mundo, and that did put him back one kill, but he is catching up now. The only problem is he is a bit behind on minions, but of course now that Vladimir has gone back, he is going to be catching up just a little bit. Now unfortunately for Malphite, Vlad is a lot better at farming, purely because his skills don't cost him anything but health, and he actually life leeches health back, as well as having a revolver right now. So all of his skills will actually leech back probably about as much health as they cost. Well, talking about E at least. W not so much, of course, it costs 20% of his current health. Now we do have Ezreal actually using his ult here to clear a mini wave. Not quite sure if that was a good idea considering he didn't hit anybody else. Now we do have Sona is going to get into trouble here. Ezreal took quite a bit too long to react to this, which means he could even drop himself here if Blitzcrank's grab or knockup does come off cooldown, but unfortunately the minions did block that, so that wasn't going to happen. Now I'm not quite sure if that was Sona's fault for being so close to Blitzcrank, or if it was Ezreal's fault for not reacting in time, but it possibly may have been both. I do believe that Ezreal should have probably reacted quite a lot faster than what he did though, so I guess you could really blame both of them for that. Now in the middle we have a lot of passive gameplay actually. Usually you'd have more than one kill. Well, none of them even has a kill, there's just an assist for Orianna, but usually there will be a bit more action going on in the middle because the middle is very accessible for the jungler to get to. But We do have both the junglers here actually engaging, and wow, look at that. We might even have a third one. Orianna jumping in here. She did ult, but Vladimir was cooled. Does look like Shaco is able to pick up Vladimir, and then he's probably going to end up picking up no, actually it does look like Morgana shields Mundo, and Mundo is able to get away now. They aren't going to be able to catch up now unless Shaco, of course, does a flash and a deceive, but it doesn't. No flash. Shaco doesn't even have a flash, so he's not going to be able to get this. He is going up here. I'm probably going to steal a wraith and run back. No, it does look like he's going to place a box here first. Morgana's going to come in here. She's going to get feared, spotted by Shaco, and then Shaco's going to back off. He did steal the most expensive wraith. Now, what he just did there is a very common high level. Well, not even high level. I've seen it like I do it myself, and I'm not a high level. But what he just did was he stole the big wraith. Now, for those of you who don't know, the small wraiths are only worth 5 or 6 gold, whereas the big one is worth about 55 gold. Or 50, I don't remember exactly, but it's a whole lot more than the small ones, and you can usually get it, if you're a bit fed, you can get it with just smite. If you are not, you can get the wraith with a smite and an auto hit, the big one I mean. Now this is a very good tactic for denying the enemy jungler gold as well as the enemy mid laner, because the mid laner, from my point of view, these wraiths actually kind of belong to the mid laner, because the mid laner can easily be accessible to them, or rather in range of them, and the jungler doesn't really need them that much if he ganks enough. Now having a bit of an FPS spike actually. I'm going to make sure that this is not an issue, or is not going to be an issue. We do have a lot of damage incoming actually. Sona does ult. She might actually get dropped here if they're not careful. Ezreal does ult, but unfortunately not onto Kog'Maw. I'm not quite sure why he didn't ult onto Kog'Maw, because of course Blitz can't really do much, so Blitz does flash there. Mundo is going to be coming in here. He might actually go for a dive. He does not have his ult ready actually, which means he might not be able to dive this quite as easily. They miss him with both the pull and the Kog'Maw ult, and it does look like he's going to keep them in combat here. Not going to be letting them get away. We do have Shaco actually coming in here. This might turn around for the blue team, and it does look like Mundo might drop here. Yes, Kog'Maw picks him up with his passive, and Shaco picks up Ezreal. So Ezreal didn't really need to come in here that deep, but they did have a 2-for-2 trade here. Shaco is going to come in here, probably try to push the lane back just a little bit. Still not going to be safe, and Orianna, there we go, as I said earlier, she is taking her own wraiths, and so is Morgana actually at the same time. So there you go. This is a very common tactic for mid laners for that extra bit of gold when their lane is either very in the middle, or in the exact middle, or if it's a bit pushed, so you don't want to push it even further. Now, as I was saying earlier, the junglers sometimes like to go to the enemy wraiths and just steal the big one, which means that the wraiths are not going to respawn, or at least I'm not sure if they respawn after a longer duration instead. But if you kill just one minion, it's not going to respawn for quite a while, and the enemy jungler will probably have to take the 3 wraiths, which only give about 5 gold each, and of course this makes them lose a lot of time because you have to engage them and you have to fight them. Whereas normally when you go there, it's quite a bit more beneficial, because the small wraiths also, as far as I know, the small wraiths don't actually give you experience, whereas the big one does. So as you can see, there's a lot of kind of stuff you can actually do to prevent the enemy from getting experience. Now, Vladimir has pulled. It does look he might get picked off here. Oh, look at that. Last tick of Ignite actually does pick him up. It does look like Mundo misses his cleaver onto Shaco. Shaco is probably going to be engaging onto Mundo here. Now, he did ult already, so it does look like they're probably going to wants to back off right now, because he will probably kill them both. But it does look like he's going to have to back off, because he is not in a position to dive on the turret. Morgana is coming in here. If she's not going to be aware that they're right here, but she was thinking that if they're here, she might actually just dive them and ult them, in which case she would probably get a double kill if she got a binding onto any one of them. They're going to be safely backed off right now, and that's pretty much going to be it for that engage. Now we have 9-4. Actually, blue team is a little bit ahead, even though it does look like the purple team is doing well, but surprisingly the blue team is a little bit ahead. Now Morgana did ult onto Orianna. She did pick up that ult actually, definitely doing enough damage there to pick Orianna off, and Morgana is going to be safe to back off. Malphite is going to be here doing a bit of damage onto Mundo, but I do believe that Mundo is going to be safe, especially with an ult ready in about 5 seconds. Morgana also, of course, able to support him if things got a bit out of hand. Now it does look like Ezreal is going to drop here. Three people at bottom. Shaco coming in to gank, using his clone to dive under the thing, under the turret. Now he didn't quite get in range of Sona for the clone explosion, but clone explosion, I don't know what they're called. It does like a fan of knives everywhere, but that's pretty sad, I know. But definitely not going to be able to do much there. Now, it is 10-5 right now. They are about 2,000 gold ahead. There hasn't been a dragon picked up yet, surprisingly. I was expecting a dragon to go off by now, or to be killed by now. No, there's a very cleverly placed ward for the blue team there. Of course, these bits here, they actually block the vision for the pink ward. Maybe not here, but this one definitely does. So the purple team is going to be aware that there's no wards here, but they're not going to be aware of the ward inside the dragon den. Now that's going to be a very nice positioning, and I might actually have to keep an eye on it myself, because that is a very well placed ward, and might very well be used by other people, and I'm not quite sure how much it's used in competitive play, because usually this pink ward would probably not survive its full duration, because an oracle would be out trying to destroy things, the turret wards I mean. So where's somebody dropping? I hear some low health. It's Malphite up on top. So Vladimir doing a lot of damage onto Malphite. I'm not quite sure why my FPS is dropping so much right now, but I might have to go out of the game. No, there we go, it's going back now. Shaco is up on top. They do pick up another kill on Vladimir. Vladimir getting farmed all game long. It's 1-4 right now. Shaco getting his dominating announcement. He's on 6-0-2 right now. So Shaco is carrying this game quite nicely. I mean, Kog'Maw is pretty fed as well. He's in 4-2-1 with 94 minion kills. Now he is a bit behind on minion kills compared to Ezreal, but he's probably still quite a bit ahead on gold. So there we go, 4.7 to 4.4. It's about 300 gold difference between them. Not the biggest of differences, but considering he's behind the minions, I guess he's still a little bit ahead on gold. Now in the middle we have Orianna actually being slightly ahead on gold with both minions and assists. On top of Morgana, but of course Morgana, one of those champions that doesn't quite require that much gold. After she has an hourglass, she's probably one of the most dangerous mid laners in the game, believe it or not, just with like 100-150 AP. Now right now she's building 3 of those Doran's rings only, and I'm not quite sure how well that works for Morgana. I have seen it played only about once or twice before this. The way I see it, Doran's rings are not worth getting past 2, because then you kind of just have to resell them pretty early and they become just expendable, because you have to buy wards as well, so you're only leaving yourself space for one more item. Now what Morgana is going to want to be doing here is probably getting a lot of her farm up. She might actually pick onto Orianna, but no, Orianna decides to back off just in time. Malphite is getting caught. Morgana does ult Malphite. He's probably just going to jump over this wall, or flash over this wall, and he still gets picked off by Mundo, but it does look like Orianna is probably going to get away here, or get killed here rather. She does, or Shaco does pick off Mundo as well. Shaco coming in to support. It does look like he's not going to be able to dive. Oh wait, no, this is their own turret, so it does look like Morgana's going to be in a lot of trouble. A minion hit. She does get killed by Shaco. Shaco picking up his legendary title now. Things are getting quite out of hand for the blue team. They're getting twice as many kills all the time compared to the purple team. Now purple team did pick up the top turret actually. Vladimir doing quite well to be pushing that turret. He is of course far behind on kills, but he is going to be able to push that turret, doing quite a lot of assisting. Ooh, just about missed that. That was like half a second. I'm going to quickly go back to see how close that was. It does look like they see this, and then Ezreal ults. I'm going to slow this down. I want to see exactly how close this got. Look at that. Oh, that was like a quarter of a second away. That was ridiculously close. So there you go. Ezreal, well done, but not quite on target. If he did spot this a second earlier, he might have been able to get it. But of course, luck is not always, or you know, spotting things in time is not always as good, because of course crits and Wriggle's procs always of course come into effect when killing the dragon. Now Vladimir has joined the bottom lane now for some reason. Of course his lane is pushed, the turret is down, so of course he's going to try to support the other lanes right now, just in order to help them progress a little bit. They're going to want to be taking out this bottom turret. They are 7 kills behind right now, so they're going to want to be to be taking out turrets in order to catch up in this game. Now, of course, turrets are not a permanent lead, because when turrets are taken out, the enemy can take out your turrets as well, which means that if they take out your turrets, they're still back up ahead on top. Does look like Son actually gets pulled right into the turret. Of course, unfortunately the turret does not attack him, but there is 3 of them here. Shaco coming in with his clone. It does look like Vladimir might be in a bit of trouble, but Ezreal is not getting focused at all. Ezreal is more squishy, and he does look like he's going to probably get taken out here. Of course, he's going to take out Shaco as well, because Shaco was pretty low. It does look like that Kog'Maw is going to take out Ezreal in return. Now Morgana is being pinged to back off. Now of course she's not going to be able to do much here. She might be able to take out Blitzcrank actually, but his passive is actually up, so he's definitely going to be able to survive her burst. Not quite sure about overall how much he would survive, but Kog'Maw would end up taking out Morgana in the long run. So a very exciting, full of action game pretty much so far. Does look like Malphite is going to be pretty safe here with Orianna supporting him. Now it does look like Morgana is going to come in here, and they're not going to be able to see her. There were no wards here, so I'm not really sure how they saw Morgana coming, but the way I see it, I assume that they noticed that she was coming either from here, or they noticed that she was just gone from the middle. Now they are going to want to back off. Mundo probably doesn't have his ult ready. There we go, 23 seconds remaining, and that does mean that they're going to be pretty safe here. Now I'm going to move that because it's making a bit of noise with the mouse. And I still have to check how much I can hear my mouse, because I really can't, haven't noticed it too much now lately, since I changed my microphone settings slightly. Now, again, I want to ask, what do you think about the sound quality compared to before? I know there's not that much of a difference. My nose is a little bit blocked now for some reason, but it's not as noticeable as before. There's not that much, there's no background noise, at least not as much as there used to be. Which means I don't actually have to put on my noise reduction for the microphone. It does look like Vladimir is probably going to get away here, just about on the turret. Now Shaco is pretty fed at the moment, 9-1, which means he is going to be able to do quite a lot of damage to this Vladimir. He's only in 4-1 or 1-4-1, but the only problem with Shaco is he's quite squishy, so we are going to have Morgana actually coming in here with her ult straight away, getting a bit aggressive here. The clone actually saving Orianna. That was a very, very close binding call there, or a binding save. So it does look like they're both going to be safe. Shaco wasn't able to engage even after using his clone, but that was purely because of Morgana's ult. I'm sure they didn't expect her to use her ult, but it does look like Blitzcrank is going to come in here. He's not going to be able to do much to Mundo. Mundo of course being semi-tanky. Oh, look at that, it does look like Mundo's going to dive straight for Orianna. I'm not quite sure if he's going to be able to pick her up. It does look like even if he does, Ezreal would have picked her off, but Ezreal's ult again slightly too late. Mundo does get taken out. A bit of a late, or a bit of a dangerous dive. He did go quite far there. But continuing on to here, it does look like Kog'Maw might be in a bit of trouble here. He is getting spotted. He's also out of his lane, or out of his side, so there's 3 people around him right now. Of course, Malphite does come in here with his ult. Oh, look at that. They actually do pick off Morgana right in the start. It does look like that Malphite ult did so much damage, and it does look like the blue team is going to come back in this. They're not going to be completely dead here. It did look like Kog'Maw did actually get picked off, but of course the blue team coming in and supporting him afterwards do pick off 3 people for 1. So definitely a great engage here for the blue team. Kog'Maw of course out of place a little bit, trying to steal that blue buff. I'm actually going to try to find who has the blue buff right now. It does look like Shaco has it. He probably killed Morgana or whoever actually picked that up. And I'm going to bring up the chat for a moment, because it does look like there's a lot of trash talk going on. Yeah, they're probably complaining about somebody instant locking and blah blah blah. Not interested. So let's go. Now Mundo is getting a lot of flame actually, it seems, but let's see. Look at the score, 5-4-2. He's not even doing that bad. I mean, look at Vladimir, 1-5. Morgana 0-3. Sona 0-3. Of course, she's a support. She's understandable. Ezreal is a little bit of a negative score, but not as bad as it could have been, I suppose. But blue team is greatly in control of the game right now. They do have 2 people fed, Shaco and Kog'Maw. 2 of the champions they probably want to have fed. Of course, the fed Orianna is always good as well. She does have quite a nice burst when doing. Whoa, look at that! Actually, a lot of damage coming on to Shaco, and I'm not even sure if they wanted to pick him up. I believe they just wanted to get Blitzcrank here. It does look like Morgana is going to be in a little bit of trouble now. She's going to get taken out right on her turret, well, right in front of her turret. Malphite is going to get away, tanking that turret. He does have enough health and sustain to, not sustain, rather armor to survive that, especially with Orianna's ult. Now, what we're going to have here is the turret's going to get taken out. These guys are going to want to back off because, of course, if they don't, they're going to be pretty screwed. Not much that they can do now. They are pinned towards the dragon. Now the thing is here, this ward is about to run out. There's only about 10 seconds I would say on it, but they're still going to get spotted. They're definitely going to know what's going on here. Purple team is probably going to want to ult the dragon, but I'm not quite sure if they will be able to pick it up. Of course Ezreal would be able to still spot where it is, but he is not quite able to get it. It's much further away this time. Now they're aware that there's a ward here now because of they saw Ezreal knew exactly where the dragon was moved to. But it is going to be a bit too late. Purple team is going to want to back off. There's no wards here for the blue team except for this one, but that doesn't really spot anywhere past a circle of around this area. So again, a very action-packed game. Actually, I haven't had a game where there was so much action and no passive moments for so long. There we go. Actually, we might have Kog'Maw actually picking off Morgana here. She is getting a little bit crazily low. Now we do have Kog'Maw doing a lot of damage. He does ult her, picks her off with a perfect delay timing. Does look like Vladimir is probably going to get taken out here as well. 4 versus 2, 4 versus 1 again, actually, versus 4 versus 1 a second time. And they are going to start a Baron. So we'll see what happens. We're going to quickly check for vision. The purple team is definitely unaware that they are gone towards here, even if they are, there's not much that they could do. They have wards placed here and here, both able to spot for any ganks incoming to the dragon, or to the Baron rather. I keep calling the Baron dragon, I'm not quite sure why. But I'm going to quickly put up the chat again just to see what's going on in the chat. QQ coming in from Kog'Maw again, complaining about no communication, but there we go, that's a GG. Gonna hide away the chat again so it doesn't come up the next time. So that's it, the blue team does quite handily take this game. Not much that the purple team could have done. They were quite behind during the whole game. Shaco, of course, taking advantage of that early ganking potential that he has, which of course everyone is aware of. Now he doesn't quite do as well in the late game, but as you can see, this game didn't even run to the late game. So that's it, everyone. I'm Vaipo. Please leave me a thumbs up if you liked the video. Let me know what you think about the face cam at the bottom. I think my left is your right. Let me know what you think about it, and that's it. Also, leave a comment telling me what you think about the new mic. Suppose I'll show it to you again. It's basically one of those reporter mics. It's inside a case which used to house a hard drive, and it does the perfect job of holding it up in the perfect position. So that's it. I'm Vaipo, and I'm out.